Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? Who's ready to get back into the competition and on the leaderboard, of course? Who's out there? Who's getting it? Mohit, I saw you out there, my friend. I know that you're always in the chat out there. And for all those loyal, of course, chat members, I hope you guys make it. Keep pushing, guys. Like always, have fun. I'm even struggling this morning, but I'm not going to let it affect my mood. At the end of the day, this is a competition, guys. We do this to have opportunities and to have fun, guys. So I want you guys to remember that. Want you guys to enjoy the opportunity to trade with that big cash. Show us what you got out there. My man Mohit, I know you would see this. I know you would be out there, man. I didn't even have to struggle. I looked down the leaderboard. I saw you out there. Keep battling, Mohit, man. It's not easy, man. You guys know it. Yesterday, guess what, guys? Max loss day for me, starting the day in the red right now, trying to manage a position, which isn't looking good, guys. As I was getting ready for my Trader TV interview, I don't know if you guys caught the Trader TV interview, but definitely, guys, the reason why we started up a little late on Tuesday is I'm out there on Trader TV doing an interview, and I talk all about different trades like that, like I do right here every single day for you guys, right? So they only get it one day a week. You guys get it every day. And now I will let you guys know, I want to go ahead and reframe this because we are moving to Monday and Thursday, especially during December. We'll see what happens in January. I'm working on some videos to help you guys continue to take your trading to the next level. Of course, you guys know I've talked about the CMT before. We're going to do like CMT style learning. We're going to give you guys education so that you guys know the books, right? Because a lot of times there's a lot of trading books, man, and I can go get tons of trading books back there. There's books, thick, guys, thick books that I'm going to go ahead and go through it, grab the best information for you guys, build an awesome course. I'm working on that in the background. I hope you guys enjoy that and giving you a little insight into what's going on in the background of things. And trust me, there's not many that know about this. So I just want to let you guys know why I won't be on Friday. It's not that I'm not trading. It's not that I'm not looking into things, but mainly what it is, I'm building courses for you guys so that you guys can go ahead and take that trading to the next level. All right, guys, we are starting in, of course, December. And December is so important, guys, because we start talking about what? One of the most important things, right? Which is what? The December effect, the Santa Claus rally. We'll get to talking about that, but definitely we got to see what happens, guys. Wall Street's only free lunch is served before Christmas. And this is one thing that I will say, guys, is that a lot of times by December 15th, we've made a great move already. So take a look to see what happens there. And of course, this is in the Stock Traders Almanac. But definitely check that out, guys. And they don't even tell me to support that. I'm not promoting that. I don't have any affiliation or anything, not getting a single buck. I know it's good, man. And that book is pretty good for statistics, for sure. All right, guys. So how was my trades yesterday? It was bad, Jim. But today, hopefully they get a little better. I will say I'm starting it off not in the right way here, but we'll see if I'm able to bounce back today, guys. It's not looking good here. It's actually looking pretty heavy right now. Trying to get an ad here to maybe balance out, but let's talk a little bit about this position, and it's not a good one. So, hey, that's just how it goes sometimes, guys. So let's go ahead. I'll bring in the screen here so you guys can see my trading right now. And this one was one that I tried to get into this morning that it just failed on me, guys. And the big thing is, another thing is I was using the daily chart. Daily chart had a nice looking pattern here that was starting to develop in Xena. So I was looking for a move above this 886. And it did start to do a little bit of a spike here with a lot of volume. It was 500,000 shares that got that spike now. But you can see it now down to 705 and really costing me. Sorry about that. Thought it automatically threw it up on the screen there. Sorry about that. So Xena this morning, big pop there, went to 873, back down. But really, I should have been trading the big boys today. CTNT. This one was an awesome trade, guys. The only reason I didn't trade this one, I got to say, is just just playing out, just trying to be busy here this morning. It's very hard sometimes to be focused in on trying to bring in the news, but this CTNT was an awesome opportunity. And there's traders nailing this trade right now. So CTNT up there to 775, got up there all the way to 9. I watched it go all the way through this 650 to 9. So definitely missing out on some opportunities and then just not taking it because, hey, it is what it is, right? I'm a pretty busy guy in the morning, and that sometimes can hurt you. Now, if you're up early at 6 to 6:30 is a really nice prime time to start looking for the setups into the 7 a.m. is usually by that time, by like 7:30, I already think a lot of these penny moves are already done. So that's another thing to mention, right? A lot of times these penny moves by 7:30, majority of them, at least the big move, already happened in the pre-market. So we'll look to see if this can continue through, but there's a bunch of these guys. Look at this one. This thing's an absolute monster. ZJK, and it's starting to bounce back right now. I'm keeping an eye on it. It just started to get a little lift there off the 18s, and look how quickly it gets to $20 here, guys. This ZJK, and of course, just did a reversal pattern, so looks good here. I'm willing to take some of this. Let's actually bring this up here, and in a second, I'm going to bring on my man Steve with us today. Of course, it's Tuesday. Smash the like for that. But look at the action on this. The only thing is it's a 48 cent spread there, right? So very hard, but look where this was at. $50, guys. So who knows where this is going here. I'm willing to take a little bit here, but I want it back to 19 or 18 here, and then I'll take some a little bit and take a shot. I'm willing to do it. Let's see if we can get it. All right, so the way that I like to do this is I like to do what's called a ladder approach. So I'm going to put some out there at 19, and then I'm going to put some out there at 18, and then I'm going to put some out there at 17, right? I want these to come back and hit. I don't think they will, but let's see if we can get some type of pullback and start to get in this ZJK. And there's a couple of them out there, so let's keep trading. Let's see what happens. Let's bring on my man Steve in the house. What's going on, Steve? How we doing, my friend?
Hey, Mitch. How's it going? Doing great.
Doing great, man. It's good to have you back in town. And I don't know if you did some Black Friday shopping. Let us know. Goodies. What was goodies? Did you get anything?
My treat was the Trading View Premium, 70% off. That's what I got myself. I've been
Hey, I
good this
can't
year.
blame you.
You
Can't
know,
blame
that's
you,
a
man. I've tried plenty of Black Friday charting deals. Even Trend Spider, that's one of our partners, they had a really good deal. But let's see what happens today. See if I can maybe get into ZJK. Did you see this absolute monster?
dude. I'm
What the
watching it right now. I was pulling it up while you were talking about it. It looks beautiful. Let me
It's a
switch over.
monster, dude. Monster within itself here. We'll see what happens here if we can get some type of pullback. I'm stuck in Xena. I'm stuck in it. That's the way I'm going to refer to it. This is one of those bag holder moments. I'm just holding the bag over here in Xena. And all I'm trying to do is get one little pop to just take some money off. Just take it off, right? But managing that, not going to let it go over the 2,000 mark. Of course, we got $5,000 to play with today. But let's see what happens with this ZJK. This one might be able to make me some money back, and then I can just cut it. Just say, forget Xena. So we'll see what happens. Can't shy away from the moves out there. We'll see. I saw so many traders out there trading these, and we can take a look into the platform. And let's go take a look right now. What's the best trade out in the market on the competition, guys? I get access to this and only during the competition time, but that's the fun part. Seeing this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at these trades that are going on right now. There's an $8,000 trade open on PSQH. That's the other massive mover this morning, PSQH. We'll see what happens on that one. That one got up there to 5, and you can see it here, how I drew the pattern right there when it happened, right? I mean, I was watching this bad boy as it started to lift. It looked good. I was already stuck in Xena, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just staying in this. But this one off that $4 break looked good. It came back to the VWAP, which is a really nice look when you can get above that and then just hold that sideways for a second. You saw how the volume went up. It decreased on the pullback and then increased on the attempt to push above. That's all good action to see, right? Because the lower volume on the pullback tells you what? Very little selling on the pullback, right? Not like the bulls running out. right? If it's big selling, that's bulls running out and profit taking versus just people getting a little bit scared and getting stopped on the pullback. And then all of a sudden it starts to push above. Then it made the move to 5, then pulls back to 4. Now it's been going sideways, reloading on that, went right back up there towards that 5 and just been playing now on that. And so that's when you want to move to a deeper time frame so that you can catch the range there. So you can really see how this thing is going from the top of the range to the bottom of the range, right? Top of the range to the bottom of the range. So you got to understand it's stuck in this range. Let's see if it can break out it during the open. All right, but that's a really nice trade there. And you see he's in at 385. So that's a hell of a position there. Really starting to push forward there. So can't be mad about that, guys. That's a hell of a position there. Let me put this on I got it on a 5-minute here. I'll zoom back here so you guys can see. 385. That's a hell of a shot there. We'll see what happens on that one. Big move there, 385. It was up there to 5, though. I'm sure he was up big. We'll see what happens on that one. Let's talk about the biggest trade of the year, I'm going to call it, because I don't think there's anyone going to beat this one. Yesterday's top prize. Oh, my God. The leaderboard. Did you guys see the leaderboard this morning? And we're getting some pullback right now, guys. So I got some fills here in ZJK that I got to go ahead and kind of manage here. All right, so I might get that fill at 18. I'm going to go a little lower.
Yeah, it looks like to me you've got basically a golden pocket buy zone on this on the squeeze here that came back into the kind of 62 to 78% kind of area.
Yeah.
So right now it's just cooking in that zone here. I think
I got a little bit there, guys. I will let you guys know. Here you guys have it. Sorry that there's so many windows open today. I got 250 at 19. At 250 at 19. So I'm just trying to like build it up. So of course I'm not trying to only have 250, but just trying to build it up. And the big part with me is going to be waiting till the 5-minute crosses back over. So the 1-minute cross there. So I went in on the pullback for that. But I want to give it a chance to come back to these lows, undercut it, and then come right back up. So I have actually orders back down to 1650 and 16 right now. We'll see what happens with this as it starts to get stronger. I can add to it, but I want to let it develop. We'll see what happens on that one. That's ZJK. But the leaderboard, let's bring up the leaderboard because, man, oh, man, what a trade yesterday. Holy moly. Look at this, guys. 76,330. So, guys, have no fear trading today because the truth is, let's be honest. Odds of us getting to 76,000 ain't looking good. Ain't looking good, Junior. But what I can tell you guys is I will swing for it with you guys here live. And let's do it, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's see what we can do. I think the important part is sometimes it's not about getting first place, right? First place might seem out of reach right now, right? Can I get to the top 20, right? And then maybe cutting it down to the top 10. That's the approach I think could get you there. And so let's talk about that. What will be that top 20? And of course, what do you see mainly traded here? SNTI, right? A stock that went insane. But 13,000, shout out to Rachel Summers out there with SMCI.
Wow.
So 13,000 on SMCI is no small feat. So that's a really
impressive.
Nice trade. Nice trade there, right? So
I was taking a look at SNTI, which everybody's on, and it went from like $2 to $15 or something. Doing it on SMCI, still 30% move or whatever. That's good trading.
Yeah, that's good trading. All right, getting that ZJK to start getting a little lift there. Went down to 1750s. Now trying to recover $20 there. We'll look to see if that can start to recover towards the bell. I'm going to try to be patient because I have a feeling that we'll get a little bit of a pullback into this area, into the range to add. We'll see what happens on that one, just mentioning. But who do you see here in 21st place? Because this is who we got to be like today, guys. My man, Mohit, shout out to him in the chat. I know he's right there, guys. So, hey, $10,000 SNTI, 64%, $4,000 trade. Hey, not bad trading at all, my friend. So, hey, we can get there, guys. So the goal is going to be breaking, I think, the 10,000. So if you want to start working your way up, that's probably going to be like a nice goal to reach today. So what do you need to be thinking about? Okay, so if that's my reward, what does my risk need to be, right? And how can I stack this up, right? Because you can see it here. These guys are not making the 10,000 in one trade. Yes, there is some people that, made like a big trade in one trade, but majority of the guys are like this guy, making 10,000 on $4,000 trades, 10,000 on $4,000 trades, right? So that tells me that, hey, maybe there's a certain sweet spot we need to find there, right? What's your sweet spot? Is it risk? If it go for $4,000 trades and risk maybe 2,000, who knows? Maybe it's 4,000, 1,000 risk. Maybe it's 4,500. And then your accuracy doesn't need to be that high. So find what works for you guys, right? And I think that that's the important thing. Understanding how you size in and size out is another big battle. Learn from this. Like I talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Trading with big size. How can you go about this? What are some strategies? Maybe it's taking half off and then leaving the rest break even and looking for another trade. Things like this. There's so many strategies, but we'll talk about them during the show today, of course. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, guys. Let's actually kick things off here. Let's trade. Let's do it like we know, guys. It's about to be 9:30. I never even did the countdown, so let's go ahead. Let's count it down. Let's get this really rolling here. Let's see what we can come up with in ZJK today. There's 3 stocks up over 100%. We need to go trading, team. Let's get after it. Google wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. All right, traders, let's get things really started here, and let's get after that money, guys. The competition looking great, guys, but of course, the top prize of that had to be a monster win yesterday, but we'll see what happens today. Of course, we'll be watching different trades, and we can still look some of the big boys. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the big boys today. There's a lot of China talk because of a mention of a restriction on palladium and different kind of things. Palladium and different things there. So I think that's a conversation definitely that we had here. And what this is mainly on, it's a ban on galadium, germanium, and antimony. So pretty much some important materials for what? Well, they're important for different things. They're important for mining, refining, and also producing for critical materials. So who would be affected by this? Of course, domestic U.S. Miners could be a potential winner on this. Who are the losers? Well, you're seeing, I think, the market react to this right now, which is the downside you're seeing in the market right now. The potential losers are tech and semiconductor companies, because if they're reliant on these materials from China, higher costs and supply chain disruptions could impact profitability. So stocks in sectors such as semiconductors, solar panels, and electronics could face pressures. So those are the ones that I'd be watching for the major hit today. Let's take a look at some of the solar stocks and see how those are performing. And I think that that's a really good outlook to look for, to see if you see some downside really start to come into this play. So, of course, right now you can see this recently just got a little spike. These stocks have been making a move, now starting to pull back here. So I think that you can look to see if some of these start to pull back today, especially so JKS is more of your Chinese name. Maybe this gets actually a lift on this. We're seeing that this one has been strong before. A lot of volume in this one just yesterday. Let's see how this trade works out today.
Mitch, I love that you're looking at it. It's so funny to me because nobody knows JKS. It's such a small company, and it's it's got some questionable aspects to it, but man, when it moves, it's crazy. Yeah. And I think you're right about
Chinese play, right? And so clear example there, right? Taking the news and actually processing it. That's the main thing to learn here, guys, right? It's not necessarily of like, oh, you got to go now short stocks. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. It's more to take the news and how do I go play it, right? How can I go make a play out of this, right? And this is where most traders can't do. I'll tell you that right now. Most traders, they just look at technicals and they just only stick to that. I have no problem with that, but I also have an understanding that sometimes news can affect things. And if I know the relationships based on those catalysts, I can react also, and sometimes even faster than certain algorithms, right? Because algorithms are going to try to take this and make trades also the same way that we're thinking it. But sometimes it's not the obvious play, right? And so that's another thing to think about, right? So like, let's say today on this news is maybe vehicles something that could be a down hit on this, right? Maybe you're already seeing some weakness in Tesla because of the Tesla news, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Here's the market open, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's go to it. We'll talk a little bit about Elon during the market, but Tesla, we'll see how that one works out. JK already into the green there, guys. I'm going to try to start adding on this. It's going to look like it's going to halt here.
Strong opening candle on IWM.
Is able to get some ads there on JZJK there before the halt. So got some ads in there, guys. I think it's halted now. Yeah, it's halted. Got some ads in there, baby. Steve, I started seeing that thing move, and I said, you know what? I'm not even putting the chart up. I'm just buying here.
Sometimes you got to send it.
Yeah, dude. That thing's on I had a feeling it would go into a halt. It went right into the halt, into the $20 there.
Wild. Beautiful, dude.
I got
really quickly.
750. All right, what you got, man?
I was looking at Costco, but it might have just caught pretty hard there.
No worries. I'm going to put you up so you can explain a little bit. I know I took over a little bit there, so go ahead, my friend.
Your show, brother. I just like listening. Anyway, Costco
I like
here.
listening too. That's the thing.
Costco's setting up a really beautiful pattern. It's got this ascending triangle here. It's really clean. Let me tidy it up here a little bit. Anyways, what I think we're seeing here, they have numbers releasing after market today. I think that I would love a little bit of a deeper pullback to the 270. It would tag this trend line here, and I would love to look at the 1,000 strike calls or just play it for that leg to 1,000 overnight. It's slightly risky, but I think the pattern's really tight. If you pull it to the daily, it looks even cleaner. It's just really easy to manage this kind of thing. Either it works or you'll know pretty quick. So this is one to keep an eye on for sure for the bigger names.
Yeah. Definitely, guys. And we'll see what happens here. I'm going to be trying to scan the market, guys. Let us know what's going on out there. But like always, guys, let me know if you guys are seeing anything you guys want me to take a look at. And if you guys see anything moving, we can also take a look at that. I'm watching the whole market here, just trying to find movers out there for you guys. And then what I'm going to try to call today is mainly like more long, if I see any trends out there, right? So first thing, of course, are your penny stocks out there, CTNT, all those, right? CTNT, let's see how that one opened up. What do we got on that? We got a nice little build up on 8. So it's trying to build and go there. We'll see if it's able to build and actually make a move. PSQH is the one breaking out. That one's looking like it wants to go on a halt. We'll see if it does go into that halt. Big push on that first 450 push up there to 550. Reloaded there around the 5. So let's see how this one starts to push there. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tick move here to show you guys the action there, and you can see it there. It's trying to build on the 530s and push above there on the 530s. We'll look to see if it gets above that 530s. That's where it's struggling right now. There's 538s, there's 540s. Now it's going to approach the break to the 550s. Let's see if it breaks through the 550s, or does it pull back here to the 9? That's what I wouldn't want to see broken, which is 476. That's on that big mover PSQH. So back to you, Steve. What are you seeing?
I was just following that. Looks like a clean breakout. IWM, nice breakout. It had an early pop. I'd like to see it continue to cook there. I want to see small caps doing strong today. I think that's there's no coincidence that we're seeing multiple names going 100%. I think there's a lot of room. Let me flip around a little. I like the Roblox a lot, and it is pulling back today. So that's one name that I am going to keep an eye on. Don't really have an exact play on that though. What else we got? China's definitely
around, guys.
To me.
One name that's moving, it's a solar name moving to the upside, SMXT, but it's not a big move. Looking around in the last 15 minutes, going to call the last stocks that are moving in the last 15 minutes. Of course, right now would just be the session.
ENVX is a very, very strong mover, and if this move does stick, I'd be looking for it to catch right around in this golden pocket here. then I think that it can really have some legs. On a longer time frame, this thing is really getting tight and showing a lot of incentive to kind of break out of this for good 40% move.
Zscaler rebounded a little bit. They had some decent earnings last night. They still got hurt. It was all right. I mean, it was a little back and forth drama there. So we'll see what happens with Zscaler. They did fall on the guidance. That's where they failed to excite. So that's where you're seeing some downside in Zscaler, but it's bouncing back. I'd take a look at Pan W to see if Pan W can get a rip above the 390s today. That would be a good outlook to start seeing that stock lead the action back to 400. If not, you could be going down through the 380s. We'll see when ZJK opens up again. Got 750 from 1969. Definitely needed to jump up closer towards that $20 where it got halted, but was able to get into that. So we'll see how this reacts when it opens up. It'll be interesting, guys. I'll try to make some money back on that. That's for sure. Let's take a look around. What else is moving? SMCI, I'm seeing moving. That's for sure. It is pretty up, and I think I hate when stocks do this, where they moved, after hours a lot. And so this moved to after hours. You got a nice little push above there. So I think you got to wait to see a continued push on a 15-minute above this kind of trend line. That's a clear move above 45, more closer towards like 45.30. So that's what I'd be looking on SMCI. All right, looking in the chat, what's up out there? CHRS, a lot of conventions out there. Just keep them coming, guys. I'll try to catch them as much as possible. There's a nice little pullback to $2 after a break to 250. I like this on the 15-minute versus the 1 minute. I'm sure it looks a little bit tough on the 1 minute. Yeah, 15-minute approach looks a little bit better there, and we'll see if that's able to hold that. So this is kind of that cup and handle approach. It's a weird cup and handle. I'd call it more of it kind of like an attempted breakout, that kind of reloading off of this. So you really don't want it to break down here, but that's the next low, right? So it held that body here on the 15, just trying to reload back through $2. I'd be watching for the $2 break to see
Another
if you
thing,
start getting momentum. What's up?
Another thing that I'm noticing is on CHRS, that 200-minute moving average is coming up, and that's the exact place where it kissed and started showing a response. So I'd just keep watching that, and as long as that line keeps being respected, you can kind of keep assuming the trend is on.
Yeah.
For kind of algo-y stuff, a lot of times they will base whether the trend is still kind of going or not based on how it reacts to that 200 moving average on a 1 minute chart, or on any time frame, right? Like you'll see people trading a 200-day moving average, 200 week. There's always a cohort of traders that'll be on that.
CTMX continuing upwards. It's a slower move, but it's doing pretty well. It has a pretty decent amount of volume. We'll see if it actually starts to ramp. There's so many names moving out there, guys. There's names on the up and downside. So just be careful out there, guys. CTNT is still trying to load up there at 8. This is one of those where I'd be a little bit careful. This is one of those where I feel like there could be some real dark pool selling here going on while it's trying to build up. And then next thing you know, you're thinking that it's going to break through 8, but then it drops like a rock. So this one is a little bit scary for me right now. Of course, it's up to you guys if you guys want to play CTNT, but I just remember how I hate when stocks kind of just chomp around a whole dollar and they pop in above it. There could be scalpers just playing that 8 scalp, 8 scalp, 8 scalp, 8 scalp, and then boom, they nail you down, right? And so if you're looking for the bigger move there, you might be getting caught right there. Look at that. Like that's that candle right there that starts to put some fear of death into you if you were long at 8.
Oh yeah.
And so I had that feeling on there. I could just see it kind of like building up there. Look at it now, 730s, right? And so it starts to wash out all those traders. Another thing is there's like these dark pools that we don't get to see. Of course, we got Bookmap, part of our partners. I would recommend you guys check them out if you guys never checked out Bookmap. I still struggle with Bookmap and actually using it, but is it a good service and what it's trying to intend to do and give you the insight for? Hell yes. So I think that this is something interesting, and I could almost bet, man, there was some probably heavy dark pulling right in this action right here. So every time it kept going up there above 8, it was just getting shorted into. We'll look to see if it pulls back here. It would reload. I would look at the hourly and look to see where the reload could be on CTNT. It doesn't mean it's done, but it could reload back here let's say back to this resistance, this 665, and then start working back through 7 would be a nice look. What you got, Steve? What are you seeing in the market today? I saw the Qs pulling back there for a little bit there. What are you seeing? Now they're starting to bounce back. We're getting a little bounce back here.
I'm seeing Costco looking like it wants to pop off. That's really what I'm seeing with this big
Costco.
volume candle. I wish I had taken this trade when I mentioned it. I thought it might go a little bit more, but hey, you know, I think that we're going to start really cooking here. There is a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
good.
room.
Good mention.
Thank you. Let's see what else we got cooking.
All right, we'll see when ZJK opens up. Is this going to be a 15-minute halt? Oh, so ZJK is trading higher after received a request to produce samples for one of NVIDIA's upcoming liquid cooling manifold projects. Yeah, you get it mentioned with NVIDIA and you're a small penny stock. Yeah, you're moving, baby. Palantir breaking out. Man, is that considered a breakout, Mohit? Because, man, this thing has been an absolute monster.
Oh man, this was
You know
one
what I
of
mean?
the.
It's
I
hard.
was.
Oh, we're
Whoa.
open. We're open. We're open. I need to try to get some more size. All right, just took another 1,000 there.
Palantir's absolutely nutty, man. I played it from like 15 to like 30 and felt so smart, and then I just watched it double again. Like, okay, what can you do?
No! I got wiped out there, guys. ZJK, man, that thing went on a down halt there. It was looking so good, like it was coming on the up halt. Now we're on a down halt there. Oh my
Man.
God, that opened up, went to 24, got a bad fill there. Bad fill there. I jumped in there at 24, right at the top there. That was the wrong move there. And boom, right back down to 2029. If I would have kept my sizing, I still would be in the position, just to be clear, right? But man, it was looking like, I don't know how that didn't go into another halt. That's the surprising one, right? Because that wasn't open for longer than a minute there. And it went up 10%. That's a surprising one there that it didn't get through that. Someone sold big on there. That one was a hard one there, guys. That's for sure. Well, time to hang out with you guys. I'll tell you that much.
Oh man. Costco does look like it's doing the thing. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I did take a chase position when I mentioned it right here. It's not my best entry, but I was kind of trying to play off this 75 free test there. So that was the idea, at least. It does seem like it's cooking. If I can get a close over this pre-market high where it surged up, then I think we can really start cooking here. I think there should be a run up into numbers after hours. I am not sure if I will hold. I think the numbers are going to be good. It's freaking Costco. Come on, they don't miss. But
yeah, I think they'll kill it, and I think they had some good Cyber Monday numbers too. It's probably helping them get that nice lift.
I hope so. You know, here's my logic. So I like to be a Benjamin Graham-esque fundamental investor when it's convenient for me. So, you know, when I'm shopping around as a consumer and I'm like, man, I'm not seeing any good deals. Like this all feels like the same price as it was 2 months ago. I don't need any of this crap. Companies must be doing good. They must be beating projections, you know, if they're not really even having to discount things or move things, you know. So that's kind of my rudimentary thesis there.
Can't blame you on that. We'll see. We'll see if we get that nice lift. I think Costco's definitely one to watch today. It's not a bad one. It has a nice looking chart there. We'll look to see if it can continue. That's on the strength move, right? It's definitely on more of a breakout. Looking into the sectors out there, communication services doing well today, technology and those quantum plays doing well again today. So if you're looking for a quantum play, QMCO looking well there. I saw IonQ mentioned multiple times in the chat. So that's one area that you can look at that's doing pretty decent is those quantum plays. QUBT, let's see if that can come back today. That's on the red side of things. IonQ. trying to get back through the 32. We'll look to see if it actually makes an up move there today. Q's making it move back up there to 514, 515, but still rejecting around the same area where it rejected in pre-market. So keep your eyes on, I think, like Apple as a sign of strength. If the market really wants to come back, I could see that 240. Nvidia is pushing also. So we are getting some of the big boys to try to get a push back. I think you got to just continue to watch to see if they can stay green. Meta's been a strong name by recent. So Meta, Apple, Nvidia, all good watches there. And of course, Amazon's been hot. Let's see if it stays hot.
Yeah, we got a little bit of weakness in SPY, but we are coming into this hourly trigger where I would like to see a catch. If this doesn't hold, we could plunge down to probably 602, but maybe even the 600 retest. Maybe not today, but just this week. That would be a dip I would love to buy, by the way. I think we're in buy all dips mode in general. All significant dips, but.
Oh, that was a tough one on that ZJK. Should have taken the cash really quickly, reestablished there, but it looked, it was like millisecond from a halt there. But that's how it goes sometimes, guys. I might just say, you know what? Let's go open the real accounts. Let's go trading for real.
Showtime. Let's go.
Yeah.
Apple's looking strong. SPY got a bid stick off of that trigger that we were mentioning. That's a good sign.
All right. Let's close this out. Let's open the real boys. All right, looking around to see what are the top trades out there right now, guys. What am I seeing? I'm seeing a short on SNTI, just absolutely murdering it. So that's not a bad idea, right? Yesterday's biggest mover, short it. Oh, they're nailing that one, guys. So I will let you guys know about that one. That guy is 18,000 short from 853s. So let me take a look at that, see how that's looking like. Oh, yeah. Nice trade on that. SNIT broke the support at $9. Big short there, right out the gates there. Nice trade on that one. Down to 720s and going lower, 716. So this is a trader that's making its way. He was at like 40,000, now going up to 64,000. So making it to the 76,000, almost taking first place, guys. So big shout out on that, guys. Big short here on SNTI. Look at that. What a trade there. So short through the 9, got short, added to it. You can see it here. They went on 870s and 830s, 10,000 at that. So, I mean, got to give him a shout out on the first entry. 872 was a really nice entry just as it broke the 9 and then kept going as he shorted some more. We'll see if he's able to take some profits, but really nice trade there. That's a $16,000 trade now. Now we're seeing a $23,000 trade from a person that was down $5,000 yesterday. So this is the type of comeback that you could have right now, guys. So shout out to you guys. I wish you guys the best. I didn't do so well today, but hey, that doesn't mean that you can't make it back. I'm seeing somebody make it back. Look at this one. Nice little entry here at 386. They have a stop loss in the green. I like that. I like that mentality. Got up there to 520s, 540s. We'll look to see if they're able to keep it. 25,000 shares. That was a monster position up there.
Wow.
So crazy, man. Crazy.
Mitch, is there any better feeling than having a big shares position and then popping that stop in the green? Man, that feels good.
Bro, at 520, I don't know how this guy didn't take the cash, but
oh boy.
At 520, that heart must have been like do. Have you remember like the old cartoon commercials or like the old cartoons, you know, like the heart. Yeah, that was this guy's heart right now, man.
Oh,
he was
boy.
And the eyes were going big, the cartoon eyes just wow.
Yo, Apple is juicing here through 240. That's a good sign.
Like I tell you guys, man, I think you're still seeing that shift of like traders like just going for Apple, man. Nvidia, forget Nvidia, man. Apple intelligence. AI intelligence, man. They did it for a reason. They just needed data. I have a feeling they're gonna come out with something, man. I just have like this like itch for Apple. And you know, I'll be honest, guys. I usually call Apple people the sheeps. So for me to feel bullish on it, it takes a lot, right?
You know, they were so conservative in rolling anything AI out that you gotta figure if they're ready. You know, they've had the R&D time, and they've really kind of honed in what their niche is, you know, what they're looking to do with this. And I don't feel good betting against Apple products ever, you know, regardless of how I may feel about them.
Ain't that the
So
fact?
yeah, chart goes up. What can you say?
All right, let's look around. Let's see what we can do, guys. And look at ZJK opened up, and it is on the up move, I think now. It's at the 2350s, almost
Wow.
up there, right back up there. It went down to 1850s, back up to 2360s. Could go in another up hole, but man, I'm staying away from that bad boy. That was a monster ride there. Let's just say that much.
This is the most insane chart. I'm looking at the candles, and I'm like, oh, this is a small consolidation range. And I'm like, that's a 40% range. What is happening? Oh, that's a sign, right? There's something cooking in terms of liquidity and people looking for fat plays and the small caps, you know?
You can say
It's
that
that
again, that's for sure.
it's a magical time of the year, you know? The pine trees are in the air, and the degens are in the market, and we're all looking to make some money.
Ain't that the facts, man? There it is in another up hole now to 24. So that's how it goes, guys. That's how it goes. It just went to that down hole. And honestly, I don't know what the hell happened there. It felt to me like it was on the up hole. For a stock to go to 20 to 24, that's like a 20% move. And it did it pretty fast. So
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell happened there and why we didn't go into another hole. Seemed like we were
man,
going to another hole. And if that
I'm
would
with
have
you.
happened, yeah, I'm right back into competition, right? So, hey, sometimes to win a competition, you got to take a shot. I took a shot today. It just didn't work out. And that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Absolutely.
Another trade could have been, though, I mean, seeing this bad boy up in the morning at, or after hours, because don't forget, guys, you get access to the same amount at 10% after hours, after that 350 or 355, when we get that liquidation, right, and it cuts off, you still get access in the after hours. The after hours is open till 8 p.m., right? This stock at 8 p.m. was up to 47.50. 47.50. You would have shorted it there. I mean, you're walking in this morning and you're just like icing on the cake, right?
That's insane. I was like, wait, no way he's still talking about ZJK. And then I look at my screen. Yeah, it's one of the most insane moves I've seen in
That's
quite
why
a
I
while.
wanted to long it today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't have
yeah.
a bad long. I just think I got too excited once it started going to that 24. Bad markets buy there. And it gave me the market buy. 2403, man. It gave it to me. It gave
It
me
said
as good of as a buy as you could get.
It said you want to pay or you want to play, you got to pay, you know. And
Yeah.
I understand, because it was not cheap to buy the Costco contract on the up move there, but it is starting to work, so that's feeling good. But I've also accepted that, hey, maybe I bought the top and maybe I get stopped out, and that doesn't feel good. But you got the right attitude, Mitch. You know, like what can you do, right? You got to just keep taking the asymmetrical risk reward plays like that.
Yeah, that's all you can do, man. That's all you can do.
It's kind
All
of
right.
like poker for me in this trade. It's like, oh, okay, I don't know if it's gonna go up or not, but I think it's like a 60%, 70% chance it does. And if it goes up, it's gonna go up a lot. If I get stopped out, then hey, that's just another trade that I was wrong on. There's gonna be plenty of those. So
Yep, and
it's
that
kind of
is
like
going
a
to
cry
happen.
call. It's like, I don't want to necessarily, but it's technically the right move.
All right, guys, watching that CTNT, we're getting closer to that support I talked about on that hourly long pullback. We just undercut 7, so looking to see if we're starting to get some volume to come in there, and we are. The only thing is I want to see it try to maybe make another bottom attempt here. It's made about 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts, and it's starting to reverse there. That hold of 7 right now was a pretty good hold, so I'm watching that CTNT. And this is in the main account. I already got it open. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to shy away. I'm not going to not stop trading. Come on, let's go get it. Let's get that money.
Scare money don't make no money.
Yeah, now that's for sure. Now we're into the 730, so a little bit of ways from that 7, but we're already getting that action on CTNT. So nice little undercut there, looking good here. I would like to see a little bit of a quick pullback back below 7 here. Catch some of those longs that were in the beginning part of this. It like undercuts towards like 675, maybe 680s here, and then starts to ramp back up. So I'll be looking for that to start working. And the big part of that is actually looking for this trend line to break. So you see how it goes lower right here, it taps it. I'm looking for that to like kind of go a little bit lower, attempt to break this low, and then come right back up. So we'll look to see if we can get that. So I want this candle to go red on the 5-minute, down like it's going to break down, and then come right back. And you see what right below that, the VWAP, 656. So giving it some chance to wash out some of these fresh bulls and then start coming back. That's CTNT. PSQH, one that was trying to make a move to 550 and looking like it was going to halt, right back to 450. So JanX, another one that's trying to make a move. This is a $68 stock there. Could go back there to the 70s. More expensive, but getting a lot of volume there. Nice hourly chart on that 66 bottoming. We'll look to see if it makes its way back to 73 on the hourly. All right, looking around the Qs, let's go to the top of the market. Let's go take a look to see what's moving out there right now. I'm seeing MU, Micron, take the lead there. AVGO, one of the good news out there. Datadog with a nice little move.
What a breakout.
ARM breaking out there too. So we're seeing some good strong action in what semiconductors, right? So I would call that out there. That's leading the action on the day. So software applications are other moves there that are moving and leading. Of course, we just talked about 2 of those. Look at Salesforce. Went red to green there. A weird move there. Really washout look.
Yeah, that's so nice.
That's
if
a nice
reclaim
nice
the neckline.
reversal. Yeah, really just came right back up there. So and you see it in the space now. SAP did the same thing. Well, I'll be taking a look to see what happens there. But of course, Shopify is pulling back a little bit. But man, what a move! That one was not a bad move at all. Good mentions this morning. We'll see if it stays hot though. I think now you're getting the news on the Black Friday trade, so you could see a little bit of a dip there today. Lulu was a great trade yesterday. It's holding on a little bit today. Not as strong. SMCI, though, pushing to the upside, guys. So big breakout on SMCI. I know there's going to be traders trading SMCX, which is your leverage trade there. Look at that. Nice push there, 93.71. So big push there. Clean Spark reclaiming 1350s. Will we start to see some kind of Bitcoin rally? Those have been struggling. They've been pushing, but pulling back yesterday. Now getting a little lift today. So some stocks to keep an eye out for.
By the way, somebody had mentioned earlier they had some SMCI calls that were up like 350% for February. I couldn't respond in chat because I need to connect my YouTube account. What I would say is that it's making a beeline for this 4850 to 50 area. That's going to be where it's kind of surging to. So you've got this kind of big volume node here where the sell-off is, and it really is, it's surging through this gap, and it wants to come connect to this node up here. You can see this big spike here. If I do that, you see? So what it's doing is it's trading from this node to this node. So what I would do is what you could do is you could roll up to the 50 strike and lock in some profit. You could also just let it cook to there. I think maximizing profit would look like rolling to a 50 strike. And then you would also be locking in a lot of the premium of that lower strike, whatever it was, probably a 30 something. So that's probably what I'd recommend.
All right, still seeing pullback in that CTNT. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert here around the $7. Let me know when it comes back through $7. Another cut down could be through the 665s on the pullback. So I'll let you guys know when I see CTNT actually want to make a move. Right now, I'm feeling like it's trying to wash some of the traders. And the big part of that is just the action that it keeps rejecting 7 now, not popping off the 7.
Mm-hmm. You know, something I'm noticing here, Qs were strong out of the gate. They're kind of banging their head on 15 there. SPY, on the other hand, is consolidating at the lower half of its range, looking a lot more bullish to me in the immediate, like, next hour or so. I'm also seeing DIA, Dow Jones, curling up. What I would really like to see is money coming out of Q and into DIA and SPY and probably IWM as well. I'd like to see the kind of broader basing after these rallies and the tech stuff. But hey, if Qs can just surge through this, maybe it can just break the pattern. Either way, it just definitely looks like SPY strong here. We're trying.
Right. CTNT just playing off now intraday VWAP, so we'll see if it actually kind of can recover there.
Bid stick. Getting a nice push on Bookmap there. Yeah, Mitch, by the way, I've spent a lot of time with Bookmap, so if you have any questions or anything, I might be your guy.
We are going to need to do a session with Bookmap. There's CTNT,
Oh, yeah.
guys. There's a nice little pop. We'll look to see if it holds here. I'm willing to take a shot off of it. If it could pull back just the smallest bit right here. Maybe 710 entry. Let's see if I can get it here. Time it.
Oh, that looks scary.
Oof. Yeah, it does look scary.
It's really struggling to process that 200-minute moving average. It is a rising 200-minute average. It might work. It's so scary, though. I'd have to put a stop under the 675.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can easily get the 690 move here.
Yeah.
I'm holding off of it right now, guys. The big part of it is I'm looking to see if it can claim the 90 MA and then maybe pull back to the 90 MA.
Yeah.
But it started to curl there, and it wasn't a bad attempt. It went to 679, almost 660s. It's kind of the area where I was looking at, and that was an hourly long pullback to the support. So 675, 660 area.
Ooh,
But could still go back to the 643.
Q's getting a nice surge here. I'm looking for them to take pre-market highs and then back test the 515.
Strong move there, guys. So strong move there. Apple continuing the up action there. And there's one stock that I saw up also that's doing well today. And I think this is one that you can look for some momentum. It's just Lilly in the healthcare trade. I think you're seeing maybe some traders go for, it sounds bad, but are people wasting their Christmases by weight loss drugs? I think that's what we're seeing here.
Oh, man. I mean,
they're using Christmas money to buy weight loss drugs. Man, just eat on Thanksgiving, the holidays. Oh man, losing out the good stuff. CTNT got up there to 770s, but I also see the spread spreading out there. It just doesn't look as sexy. It did recover there a little bit, but you can see it there. Now a big wick off of that 770s, already back to 740s. It's a tough one. HIMS though, going up there also with this move. I think we're seeing something there.
Oh wow, man, I missed the HIMS. I was hoping it would. I was hoping I'd catch it off 30. It probably did hit it, and I just missed it. But what a crazy mover! What a beautiful stock. I think you're right on the trend. I'm also ENVX. If anybody wants to take a stab at this, I'd say buy time or shares and swing this. But I really think that it wants to kind of catch and reclaim this trend line. The safer play would be waiting for it to reclaim 10 or 10, 11. But I think there's so much room on this thing. I mean,
wisdom. I knew he would come in the chat. It's wisdom. What do you expect? I got my Ozempic on Cyber Monday, right? That's when you get it, right?
It's the real deal.
If it's 60% off, does that mean I get 60% off this?
60% off your waistline.
Off my waistline? That's how they should have sold it. That would have been the ad. Oh my God. I should have sold it to them, man. They would have bought that in a heartbeat.
Marketing department. Come on, hit us up. Hit us up.
60% off your body weight and the price of Ozempic.
That's good. I like that. Man, all right, Costco's working. It got that volume surge through what is that number? 980. Sorry, waking up here.
Can you guys link the competition sign up? And ain't easy to sign up. Unfortunately, the signups are locked out. Unfortunately, you had to be signed up before I think the end of Sunday. So unfortunately, if you didn't get in already, you're gonna have to wait for the next competition. But one thing you can do just to have fun is also get our demo account. You could get our demo account and trade that, kind of show what you could have done to have some fun, at least to have some fun. So if you want to stick here and just let me know, I'll tell you what, if you get that demo account right now and you make the top prize, I'll find some way to give you something. How's that? How's that? I'll find something, some kind of gift I can give you. But hey, like always, yeah, we try to tell you about the competition at least 2 weeks earlier so that everybody gets signed up. But like always, when you miss out of something, it does suck. So, hey, PSQH, though, trying to sign up here and try to get going on this one. What I like about this one is it's holding the 15-minute VWAP. So I do like kind of PSQH. It doesn't have as much upside potential as some of these other ones, but I think that actually gives us a little bit more of a buildup. So PSQH, looking to see if we can get a pop off this VWAP. I'm going to show you guys the chart right now. I'll pull it up here. PSQH.
I like it. It looks good to me.
Can this start to move off of this? I like the 5-minute trap look right here. It trapped to 445s, tried to wash some traders out there. Let's see if we can get a 440 attempt here and then a quick rebound.
Yeah, I'd want to see it hold that 427 for sure. I think it could, yeah, wick under the 443 here, run that stop like you're saying.
Wash some traders out here and then look for the rebound. Look for big orders to come in here as a buy. So you see how there's some buy in there.
We're getting that on indices right now too, and they're starting to rebound. So if it wants to play ball. We're also in that golden pocket on PSQH.
Trying to let it hit that 440 first and then start coming back around. Try not to react early, trying to react after the pop, right? Because then you get this wash, right? And that's the hardest part. Like you buying right now, it might seem like the best opportunity, but the truth is that you're playing into the weakness, which is very tough, very tough. So I like to start looking. I look at the opening of the candle. So what's that? 443, right? That determines if it's red and green here, right? So I look at that 443 as a very good sign. That's where the strength can come back in. So I look at 437s right now, and I'm like, okay, show me 443s again on some strength.
Money coming into Qs. That's nice. It rated the pre-market highs that we were looking for. It did the little dunkaroo. Just tapped that 200 minute.
I saw mentioned in the chat. New high for that one. Definitely pushing on that. Zeta doing well. BitDeer doing well. Look at BitDeer. Look at that one, guys. That's a nice little move.
Oh, that's a massive. Oh, man, it did the thing. I wasn't watching it. It did the thing. So it's running the all-time high stops, and now it's gonna. It's like 40% shorted or 30% shorted or something.
Yeah.
Man, that's a banger.
Ethereum with a nice little move too. Ethereum went down to 925, back up to 977. So these are trades that you can put big size into competition. That's my idea for this, right? Is that this is a tight spread, one penny, and this doesn't move much. But when it goes in a trend, you can catch a trend and ride that trend. Look at the 9 EMA in here, the light blue line. Look how it just starts when it comes back above it. It holds all the pullbacks of it right now. You got an undercut and now an attempt to push above. CTNT holding that 8. So it wasn't that bad off the 7. Maybe it could have made like a buck. But we'll see if that one can keep moving. ZJK, look at this thing. Halts all around. That thing would have been giving me the heart attacks, man. But hey, it did. Once it reopened, it still made a move to 30. So when you think about it overall, I mean, that could have been a move, right? I mean, it's tough, though. Yeah. It's tough. All right, VXX holding right now. And so I think you got to keep a watch on this today because the Qs could dump back down. I mean, we made it back to the top end of the range here. And so watch out for a top end of the range rejection here. And so that's what I'm looking for. You see how the Qs get right back to the top end here? I think you need to see a good kind of reload on the VWAP today. I don't know if it's going to go straight to 516 here. Of course, that's the next push. But I'm keeping an eye on just a little bit of some pullback with, of course, the kind of the negative news that happened in tech. But look at Apple. That's what I mentioned on watching for the strength on these. Amazon right back to 212. So the big boys carrying the market, right? Big boys a lot of the times will carry the market. Meta also trying to go back to 599. What about Tesla? hanging in there, not doing too bad. SMCI up 9%, trying to break that 46. And it's been pushing. It's been
Looks
climbing.
great. Looks great.
PSQH did break down there right back towards the 9 EMA on the 15, and now could start working its way back, but that's why you avoid that takedown there. So now it just looks like a big old wick in a recovery, right? So at
So
least you
yeah,
avoided that stop out there.
I'm seeing some good things on PSQ. It's got the rising 5-minute trigger at 423. That's responding perfectly. You've got the 70% fib, which is right in the middle of that golden pocket I had mentioned. That's also right there at 418. You also swept the morning, like the high volume lows there. You got all those guys out, but you held the pre-market lows. That's pretty encouraging to me.
Yeah, I'm looking for that 443s to come into play again, and then that's what I'm really needing to see here. And there's the 443s with the 445 on the offer here, and now we're going to look to see if we start to see that buying just start to show right back in here. And I'm seeing
Yeah.
a little bit of buying there, not insane.
Spread's widening. They want to pop it.
Let's see if they take this 445 there. It's trying. You can see they're
Yeah,
trying to get
tightening
some
up
buying
again.
there.
They want them to bite. They want the buyers to bite and start chasing this.
6,000 shares at 441. So someone tried to step up there at 441. There's the push off the 447. Now trying to clear the 450s. Now we're starting to look a lot better. Now I'd look for a quick pullback here to 440s that could jump in here. So I could do like a starter 450s, add 440s. But really what I'm going to look to do is get a starter at 440s now. $442s, 441s.
SPY's dumping pretty
All right,
good
got
there.
440s there. All right, now I just need to see this come back through the 450s on the ad. That's where I can add. All right, of course, you guys see it now, and this is not the competition account. I will state that this is the extra buying power, the one that you see right at the top, available now, the limited. So trying to get after it here. SoFi hitting 16 plus. What a move there. CTNT, holy smokes. Yeah. Steph, I try my best. You know, Steph said earlier the transparency that she really appreciates the way that I go about it. I try to be transparent. You know, at the end of the day, guys, no, you guys won't learn if I'm not transparent, and that's the key. I mean, at the end of the day, if I can give back to you guys, that's what I'm here for, guys. It's not for me to make thousands. It's for you guys to learn and learn and learn and use some of my experience to hopefully bend that learning curve and get to where you're trying to go. Let's see it. Let's see it here. Let's see if PSQH can start to move here. I got 441. Really looking just for it to hold this kind of 428 just bottom right now. Needed to get back to the 450s. If not, going to go ahead and cut it there.
Q's responded nicely to that first 15 backtest. I would expect. Doesn't seem like we want to go down. I don't know. Guess it's still early.
The spreading out here is not something I really want to see there, but what is it doing is triggering some stops at 430.
Still riding the moving average ribbons down there on lower time frames.
Mm-hmm.
Tried
Doesn't
to
look
flip
too
them,
bad.
no,
I want to see this 5-minute candle go from red to the green. What was that? 440. So it needs to get back through that 440s in about, what do we got? 13? Yeah, so 2 minutes. This is usually when you see it. A lot of times the last 2 minutes of a 5-minute candle, the last 5 minute of a 15-minute candle are so vital.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's so essential to look at to try to imagine how these different time frames are flipping in terms of like, right? I mean, exactly what you're saying with the 5-minute. Like you want it to push down because if it pushes down early in the candle, that means that it's a high likelihood that if it does catch, it will end green, or at least put in a reversal there.
Mm-hmm.
Costco came back on me. Looks like it's gonna have to back test 75.
Back to 420s here. So I'm looking for to see this 417 hold here. And then the next candle really quickly come right back up here. 5 minutes, still got 1 minute to start working back. The spread kept going wide there, like 430, 440s, 425, 440s. So I think you're getting that stop out action right now. Let's see if it starts to work back in the last minute. Getting some wash back down to the $4 spot there. Going to go ahead and start risking here and just making sure that I hold to $76. That's pretty much the risk on the first entry for me. About 80 bucks is normally where I want to risk to. So I'm just trying to hold to that right now. Let's see if it starts to recover. If not, just getting out. 25 seconds on this 5-minute candle.
Nice wick. But man, it just keeps running more and more stops. Scary.
Yeah, that's what's happening there. Let's be honest. Some stops are getting triggered. Now you need to see the big buyers to step up and quick momentum on the upside. That's what you want to see. Not the slow stair step, but where it's just like a big jump. You get a triple bottom, double bottom kind of curve look off of 412s. Trying to hold off the 4 now. All right, let's see if we get some buying to start stepping up here. And then 440s, 450s is really going to be the place where we need to see the volume start to jump. Volume's been decreasing. We need to see volume increase through the breakout. So you guys can see the volume right there, right? That's what we're going to be looking at. Let's see if the volume can get an increase on that break. If not, that's a negative. All right, let's look around. Let's take a look at what else is making a move out there in the market right now. I'm going to go to some bigger names, see if there's any bigger names that I'm catching here. Go to the Qs and the SPY overall. SPY is kind of on an inverse head and shoulders. It's kind of red compared to the Qs. And why that happening is because what's leading the market right now, it's communications and technology. Everything else is red. So your cyclicals are red, utilities are red, financials, healthcare, real estate, defensive. It's pretty bad out there, guys. The one getting hit the hardest is industrials, but it's still not down 1%. So it's not like a bleed, but it's something definitely to be concerned about. The market is holding on right now, and the SPY is holding on. I mean, that's a lot of the strength that's in the Qs. But if the Qs get weak, will the market get weak? That's one thing to keep in mind. Yeah, and I love bringing different traders on. So you guys out there, you guys are always more than welcome. I enjoy when Steve's on here, and it's always good to hear different mindsets, different approaches. That's what it's all about. You got to learn from each other.
Thank you, Steph. Appreciate that.
All right, guys. So starting to see that kind of pattern that I was talking about just a second ago here. I'll put it on the screen because it looks a little bit better here on this pattern. So you see this kind of curving effect with the wick. So I'm looking to see if that could be that curve effect, and then we start to go higher. If not, a breakdown below that low would be that sign to get out, right? So this could be that buying area, and it starts to come back. See, just like that, kind of this curve effect here. I can do it with a circle. So you can see in this area here how we're looking for that to be that kind of that turn. Let's see if we can get that to start turning there. Little curve effect.
Man, Costco is going for the deeper pullback, it looks like. Sneaky. Well, I'm holding my position for the swing. But that's
Costco acting cakey today.
Yeah, needed to shake more people out, I think, before the headline, which honestly, I'm going to cope and say that means they're beating. So
yeah, you know, another thing that I think that traders are not thinking about in the competition is don't forget you can trade stocks like this, like a Costco with a bigger size. And when you really catch these on momentum moves, I mean, just even like 100 shares can be such a crazy win, right?
Right. So you can always refer to the ATRs, the average true range, or ADR, average daily range, to kind of get a feel for how much a stock moves. And then you can kind of calibrate like, all right, what's my sizing going to look like if I get the move I'm expecting?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Completely.
You can do 10 times the size of a PSQH and you'll feel safer. It comes down to preference and trading style, but I'm very comfortable on the bigger names. That's what I kind of started with. So it gets my heart pounding when I have to play something under $5. But
All right,
I
guys.
appreciate it.
Stop placed at 405. Now I want to go looking at the VIX because the VIX looks like it might get a little jump here with the Qs coming back down. The SPY looking really heavy. I think we might get a little jump here.
Yeah, just kind of this grind up makes me feel like we want pressure release to the downside before we make them another move up.
All right, taking a little bit of the VIX there. It took just 200 shares to start. Looking to see if we can get a little spike to 43s. So the 43s make sense here. So I just went 200 shares here to see if the VIX can get a little spike there towards that 43, start going, and then really get going. The big thing there would be the Qs breaking back down through the VWAP. So the SPY is the heavy one. I really see that SPY as heavy. It's just more, it's like, can tech go red? And tech has been green. But of course, there was a negative newsprint today that I'm still keeping in the back of my mind here to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we are getting that downside, or at least starting to.
Qs have that setup now where it can go to the VWAP or bounce off the 9. What have I seen already happen? 1, 2, 3 attempts to hold that 9, and now you're on that 4th. This is where I think it starts to break. There's a nice little push just added to my VIX here. Not trying to add on pullbacks.
There's the break. Oof. Ugly.
Setting a stop break even now, looking for the breakout above the 43s. The VIX is starting to break now. I have 300. I want to add to it, but I need to add closer on the pullback, closer towards like the 84s. So I have a stop break even right now for a reason, because if it stops me out, I'll just jump back in with bigger size. PSQH, still like chomping around. I just set the stop on that thing, so I'm just going to let that work. VIX trying to get that pop above the 43s. The Q's coming down fast there, guys. So just be careful out there. Another play could be on this is SOX S, or SOX S, right? So that's the bear one. You're looking for this to continue to the upside. And another thing that you really need to see if this is really going to be bad is Apple goes red today. Nvidia goes red today, right? Nvidia is still not as much, I think, of Apple, but I'd be watching that. Amazon go red. Right. Then you got sectors just starting to all go red. And look in the last hour. Now we only have energy slightly up. So if there's one thing that's starting to get a little bounce, that's energy. And that's not a good sign. That shows more weakness into the market. A lot of times, sometimes you get a kind of a divergence between oil and the market, right? Where oil's going up, the market's going down. So I think that's what we're seeing a little bit here.
Yeah, you can look at oil as it's basically like inflation in a lot of ways. It very rarely does oil go up and other things go up too. Usually it's a risk factor, especially geopolitical nowadays. There's a lot cooking. I don't know if you saw the martial law in South Korea. That's pretty wild. It feels like every day it's something.
Yeah, there's a lot out
ENVX,
there.
by the way, it looks like it's cooking under that 10 level. It looks like today was a little stop out under there. Also, if anybody wants Costco, this is another kind of buying area. It could go down a little bit lower, but for that swing.
All right, we're looking good for the 43 break now, guys. I'm thinking about adding here. Let's go for it. So just took an ad there. Now I'm risking off the 42.90s here. If it stops me out, that's fine. I'm break even, right? So I'm building up the position, but making sure that I'm not going to lose on the position either. Sometimes that's me being risk adverse, but when I'm not getting the first like boom 60-cent pop, I'm trying to be risk adverse here, right? CTNT less than 667, so that one's not doing the best. CTNT definitely battling. That ZJK also just started just dropping like a rock, so be careful out there, guys. X down 9%. Of course, that has all to do with Trump's comments.
Pretty wild.
SPY heading to the low, SPY heading on the low. So feeling good about this. Now I just need to see this get the pop. Back down if the VIX comes to like, let's say 4280s and it just washes here, then I can just look to find another trade. PSQH stopped out there at the 404, just wasn't going to battle. It started to come back, but it was a clear sign here. And I talked about it. I talked about the pattern that I'd wanted to see hold. So the pattern started to break there, and I'm not going to hold off of that. Doesn't mean that it's completely done, no, but I was looking for this pattern, this little curve effect to come into the 440s and break out above the 450s. Did not get it today on PSQH. It's okay. It is what it is. Measured loss.
Part of the game.
Part of the game, right? And now we're seeing the Qs right back at the VWAP. So let's see if it recovers here, the VWAP. I still see a little bit of some weakness in the market. Zscaler is the one that's taken off after a weak kind of guidance and still pushing to the upside. So not a bad one there. Sometimes what you read is not what happens, guys. Pan W back to 394. So that's actually done pretty well also. Snow is one to watch there too, starting to break the 172.
Peloton's having a day, up 5%, breaking that 10. That's got a lot of room if it wants to go.
Palantir, man,
ENVX.
is at 70, but it hasn't moved from there.
And it's just flagging so tight. What a crazy unicorn, man. I wish I just had conviction. Like, man.
No, I mean, I had it early in the year, bro. I even swung traded. I even did a swing trade on it, but
it's hard to hold on.
I
when it just keeps going.
Long.
Yeah, I need to get better about just riding those moving averages up with the trade, you know?
Yeah. That's the idea is that's kind of what you call a set it and forget it type of trade.
Right. Yeah.
So where the market's doing the heavy lifting. I talk about that those are the best trades, right? Where your job as a trader is a lot of times not necessarily to know what's going to happen. No, your job is to get entries and exits, right? But a lot of that is going to be more focused on the entry side. Once you do the hard work of getting that entry and you set the risk, right? And the trade starts working for you, or in this case, goes 100% and more, a lot of times you can take half off at that 100%. And now you really are playing with the house's money, right? This is an investment strategy that I have a very close friend, older gentleman that does this all the time. He tries to take trades to 100% win. And these are investments, of course. Then he sells half of it and just holds on to it. He says, if this company doesn't go to zero, guess what? I got some free shares to play with, right? So I like this approach because it's more of an approach to build up a big investment portfolio, right? That's how you can do it. That's how the rich are doing it a lot of the times, guys. They're building up investment portfolios, and that's why you see so many mentions by the Democrat of unrealized taxes, because they know how many people have some unrealized portfolios out there that are just building assets and wealth off of that, and then maybe even borrowing against their portfolios.
Well, that's the craziest thing where, I mean, it's
it's
exponential in how
guys.
it compounds.
Spike.
Yeah. Here we get the push down. Yeah, I think that there will be a massive pushback to any kind of capital gains, unrealized taxing, and they will fight that to the bitter end on both sides of the aisle.
All right, guys, just added there. Now I got 500 shares here. Looking for this to continue going. If it pulls back, I don't mind it. I'm just letting it trying to grind up and just keep pushing now. Let's see if we can make a nice little, maybe $300 trade here and just start the day in the right direction. I think this could really drive. If it pulls back and just stops me out, that's fine too. I'll just reload on the 9 EMA and look to get right back in.
So Qs, this isn't too bad. This is kind of where we'd want to see the hold on SPY, and this is kind of where Qs is retesting the surge through 515 there. So not the worst look. Maybe
Here comes that attempt to try to get me and then try to take it here. I'm going to lower it down a little bit here to risk a little bit. Oof. I tried to let it go there and it just grabbed me. So there it is on the 40s. It's trying to reload. I'm looking for the 9 EMA re-entry here, but looking to go ahead and get in there. Of course, I didn't lose much. Lost $3, so it's pretty much a break-even trade there. But the big thing is I was trying to get to a 500 share size. So let's see here. The Qs want to bounce. The Qs could still bounce there. I'm still looking to see if they try to bounce at least once to the 515. That's that pullback where the VIX comes back to 4280s.
Yeah, Momo's still down. It's going to need to work through this. We've got some buyers stepping in, but I think that it'll take a couple pushes down here. I'd like to see pre-markets hold, or actually just opening levels on spot or on Qs that could come all the way down and still catch off like a rising hourly trigger at maybe 513.50 the next hour or so. That'd be an area to look to dip by if this doesn't catch.
Hesitated for a second there at the 43.13. Wanted to get back in at 43 there. Just slight hesitation there. Definitely costing me. I literally had the place order clicked.
Oh, it's the worst. That's when you blame internet, Mitch. That wasn't you.
Yeah, I'll tell the truth. You know me.
Latency issues. All right, fine. Brain.
Yeah, there was a latency issue. It was on me.
Yeah.
That brain was latent.
Dude, the brain lag, it'll get you. Don't have to tell me
brain fart,
twice.
man.
We joke, but it's really important, honestly. You know,
It
like
is, it is.
execution. You can't beat
It
yourself
is.
up too much, but you always got to strive for better, right? Like you were
Yeah,
saying,
man.
the entries are the meat of the trade.
Yeah, I had a good trade on there, guys. So it's hard to get back in now. And sometimes this trade will give you that opportunity to get back in. And then when you miss it, now what I got the opportunity? It's the chase, and that's the tough one.
Yep.
So I'm just looking to see if the Qs bounce here, but that's usually when the Qs don't bounce, right? So just be careful out there for some further downside action coming in the Qs here.
Yeah, I need to see us over 514.70, maybe something like that to really get bullish on a bid stick here. I think I'd be more bullish on a washout at this point.
SPY down to that 602. So definitely the weakness coming into the market today, guys. It started with a nice little push into technology, but now technology is right in the recent hour. Still green overall from the open, so doesn't mean it's completely dead. But definitely cyclicals coming down also. Now I'm seeing healthcare come back a little bit, but what's really taking a hit is utilities, real estate, financial services. So if there's any place to short, those are places that are looking like shorts right now. Industrials coming back. So I'm thinking cat or deer on the downside. And yeah, you can see cat coming down pretty significantly there.
All right,
There's
we are
a
getting
little
a bid
bounce.
stick. Yeah. So
yeah,
this
I'll
is
put you up, my friend. Show me what you're seeing.
Cool. So on Qs here, we came down. We didn't really sweep anything major. We held this low here. We've got rising support in these this kind of green staggered line here. So we run up, we sweep the pre-market liquidity, this red box. We come back down, and now we're just tagging into this kind of opening. I'd consider this a breaker block, which is basically came down and then reclaimed and used it to boost off of it. So now it's coming down and it's retesting that support level. So far it's holding. Now we're going to go for this downtrend break. I think probably what's going to happen is that that's pretty decent. So I think it's going to get caught up on this, and it's going to have to kind of chop this out a little bit, maybe double bottom, sweep this again, and then you could look for something maybe off the back test here. So that'd be something I'm kind of looking at. In general, though, let's pull it back. What are we seeing? We swept this. It tried to sweep this, couldn't quite get it. I still think it would like to clean that up. But in general, what are we seeing? We're seeing a mitigation pattern where anybody who got caught holding long is now able to get out break even. So we got to see, okay, at this junction, do we have more buyers? Can we surge? Like, see, when it was right here, it consolidated, it wicked up, and then it surged again. That's not out of the question, but I think that it's always prudent to expect when you have a cup that you'll get a handle. And then you'd be looking at something like before the big breakout or something. And you just want to see basically the 50% of this initial leg up. You don't want to see that hold. So maybe it would look something like we fake break down, we fake up, we take another low there, then there's a flush, and then something like that. I'd be kind of looking for something like that, but I'm not too dead set on the path as long as it keeps kind of, in general, moving in the right direction here, which it seems okay to me. I'm not too worried.
Yeah, the hourly on the SPY is right underneath here around the 602.50. So some people could say that there's some buying going on around the 602.50 off of
Mhm.
the hourly on the SPY. And if the Qs could take the high here, maybe the SPY could start working its way back. That's your opportunity
Yeah,
here.
I'd like to see that for sure.
I think you take a look to see if financials and utilities can come back a little bit. Those don't lead the market, but they're down. Like
Yeah. Mhm.
like you look at the XLF, you can see it in the XLF, the weakness there, and XLU. So we'll see if XLU can come back. It started with the green move, but this has been a pretty hard break yesterday that I caught. That I was like, why is utilities getting hit hard or that hard? So something to think about, right?
Would we be able to kind of equate that on some level to strength and Qs, money coming out of the risk off trades and just kind of plowing into small caps and all that?
You're
That's kind of
right.
where
You're
my
right.
mind
I
would go.
mean, that's not a bad thinking, right? So sometimes it's as simple as talking with other traders, guys. So important.
We all got a little piece of the puzzle. That's what I've found.
No, but that's what it's about, right? And that's why you got to look around. Look how the XLF trade. Of course, this was one of the best trades from the Trump mentions, and everyone was taking it. But now this is starting to turn a little bit. So some of these are turning. What isn't turning? XLK. Now that looks strong, right? Right. And so you could be right on the head there. You're seeing just money go to where? To technology names, to the growth names. A big look on that would be the Kathy portfolio.
Oh yeah,
And look at the spike on that bad boy. So
it's beautiful. I mean, on a longer term pattern. Let me switch. What's happening?
clean
I hear.
spark back down, and we're seeing that pullback right now. Q's breaking to the upside, right back up
Okay.
here.
I heard that bookmark popping in the background. I was like, all right, we're doing something. Hope it's good. That's good.
Q's, big bar on the Q's. And it's not massive, but starting to work its way back. If you look on the 15
yeah.
minutes, now you're pretty much on a 15-minute wash recovery. So this is why the 15 minutes and time frames and the 1 hour time frames for you bigger traders. The small caps, yeah, you're trading penny stocks. I understand you're looking at short time frames, right? But the big caps, you got to keep your eyes a lot of the times on the bigger time frames, the 15 to 1 hour, so you can catch those recovery. That's why I started calling out maybe the SPY could recover on that hourly. And that's just an hourly approach, right? So hourly comes back. So you draw yesterday's hourly support and you say, hey, can we come back to that level? And then maybe I can just risk off of that for a move to come back to the resistance. You're not looking for the move to go for the breakout. You're just looking for maybe even, or maybe just half, maybe just playing it back to VWAP, right? Mean
Right.
reversion. And
And
so
when
that's a
you're
classic
playing,
trade.
when you're playing a box range like this and you're scooping on the lows and offloading on the highs and keeping a little bit, eventually you'll catch the breakout.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
if
really
you,
great way to trade.
Yeah, and what you're really doing is going for a nice risk to return, right? So if I'm
Mhm.
longing on that line right here, right, taking a long on that and just trying to stick to simple risk to return, I can go for a smaller risk box for a bigger return, right? What we're all looking for, right? So, wow, the 60-second rule would kill me. Why? Short dude. I don't think there's any one trade. I mean, there's very rare traders that need to be able to trade within 60 seconds. Now, the new limiteds do have 30-second rules. I will tell you that, short dude. Maybe that's enough for you. But if not 30 seconds isn't enough, then I don't know what to tell you, short dude.
60-second rule. That's you got to hold for a minute, basically.
15 seconds. That's it. That's all I do, bro. 15-second trades.
You're on your 1 second Heikin-Ashi candle chart, just in the matrix. You see the numbers flying by you.
All right, guys. Call me risque, but I'm going for it here. I'm doing the fix. And part of this is that I talked about this trade coming back to this area here. I want the 86 on the offer. There it is. There's the 87. Oh, as soon as I do that, it changes back to 86. Come on.
Interesting. So you're scalping VXX.
So the key here is that I thought about this trade before the setup happened on that Q push, right?
Mhm.
So that was my big thing, is that
How's
I was seeing
liquidity on it? Is it? It's very tradable with shares. I
Oh
actually have.
yeah,
Okay, great, cool,
it's super tradable.
very cool.
Um, it goes pretty fast there, and I like the VXX, the way it works and the way it trades. The VIXI was good to me also.
Mm.
That's another one, right? That's the pro shares, and then we're
VIXI's, is that
talking.
front month or what's the difference there?
The VIXI is still short term. I think it's pro shares, and this one is iPath.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's just
gotcha. So
the
same,
different.
yeah,
Yeah, same like vehicle short-term futures, right? And the front months, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
But the key there is that it's just a different vehicle, right? It's just like there's different, like you could look at XLF, right? Or you could look, those are the spiders, right? And you're looking at
yeah.
different ETFs, right? And so I like the way that the VIXI was, but then they did the stock split, and then I didn't like it. So this stock split here, this 1-for-4, I
Mm.
liked it when it traded in the lows, the $7. Why?
Yeah,
Because it
yeah,
was a lot tighter and the spread was like 1 penny almost every time.
much better. Do you ever
Yeah.
trade the levered ones like UVXY, UVXY?
I have a tendency, I'll just be honest. I have a
Mm.
tendency of sucking on leverage vehicles.
I I'm with you, man. I don't
I'm
think
just
it's
gonna
just
be
us either.
honest
I
about it,
I
right?
don't think
Like,
it's just us. Yo, have you ever seen that chart comparing returns of 2xQs to 3xQs like over time?
yeah.
It's disgusting. It's like all you need is 2x leverage and don't touch it if it's a good trade, you know? It's actually crazy how much
Let's
the
talk about Mohit out there. I know Mohit's probably closer to that top 20 than I am. Let's just say that much. So, my man Mohit in the chat, we're all about the people, man, here. And
oh yeah.
Mohit said he's struggling to hit a home run today. Mohit, as just advice from me, right? Not financial, just trying to help you, right? Mentality wise, right? Psychology wise. If you're seeing that you're struggling to hit the home run, take a pause a lot of the time. Try to let the market work out what's happening right now. So what's happening right now is a bunch of deciphering information between what the battle really on in China. How much pressure are they really going to do on these metals? And a lot of the tech companies right now are eyes open, wondering, oh snap, are our semiconductors going to be more expensive? Because they could push and say, oh, well, you love your AI. Well, guess what? China could be like, well, guess what? We're going to stuff it to your AI. We'll make these materials that you need for your AI chips massively expensive. And then you can see a battle there. That's what you call trade wars, right? And so that's what
Right.
they're looking for right now. I think you wait and see. See if you get some type of reaction here, and then you'll get the move, right? I'm trying to play that reaction that potentially could happen, which I think is maybe the Q's down today. But why? Just because the market loves to flip. Yesterday, really strong. Why not today pull back 50% of that move, right? This
Yeah.
happens all the time in the market where you get a really strong breakout, right? This Q's broke out yesterday, right? If I did a fib retracement on that, yes, it's holding the support right now, but it could go to 50% retracement. That's back to 509. We could bleed, right? So that's what I would be thinking of. And maybe it's just a 38% retracement back towards like this 512, right?
Yeah.
And
And
so,
this is super healthy, right? This is like what we want to see. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, confirm that we're on the right track, send it
mhm,
again. Like this is what constructive price action looks like.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for a dip. I'd love it. But you know, I'm my mind's hardwired to buying dips as opposed
And
to
for
shorting.
for me, it was all about this 515. Earlier, I talked about it, right? Could we go back to 515 reject? We just shot up to 515, made it look like it was going to go to the moon, and now
Mhm.
it's rejecting that 515. Look at the 90 MA, how it curved up here, and then just started nailing down. All the moving averages right here tell me that I need to watch to see 515 break again. If it's a back above 515, yeah, you can go and start driving back, I feel like. But other than that, if it starts to break this low now, we got to look at the SPY hourly low, which is the important level too. We talked about that level. If that breaks, that's when I start to be concerned, right? So we'll see if it breaks it. It's already attempting down there towards the 602.40s. Will this 15-minute candle go red? Another thing to look at here that could be a sign of concern.
Yeah.
SMCI out there bleeding. Yeah. As quickly as it goes up, that thing can go down. So look at that.
Oh man, that's rough.
And where
So
could this
what
be
was the
going to?
trigger? Okay, so it looks like what the trigger was is it swept the end of or the after hours squeeze highs at
Exactly.
45.84, and then it said, all right, switches off.
Yep.
buying
Switches
done.
off.
And it's really algorithmic like that, where it was like you could see that there were sellers already on
Yeah.
SMCI. At like
People, profit takers, right? Let's just be honest. Profit takers, probably taking it from the bottom, riding it up. That thing went down to 40 though. Oof.
it's wild.
Wow.
Man, yeah, I mean, it's like a literal switch is flipped. It's like, okay, we have fulfilled the target, abort mission. But it's just like algos flip off, just lights out. So noting breakpoints like that is super key. And pre-market highs, yesterday's highs or lows, those are, and even opens, but usually the highs and lows I found are very, very responsive. So look for volume to come in there. It's like, all right, we're at the level where it could reverse and volume's coming in. Good chance that this is probably not going to just surge another big amount. Always can happen, but
Jose saying he's having an issue in the chat here. And Jose, I'm all about trying to help you guys. Of course, I'm not part of the customer service side. I do want to mention that I'm just a trader here, but I'm always going to catch these comments because I'm on your guys' side also, guys. I want things to work fair, consistent. That's what I'm all about. If there's anything that I'm preaching in our meetings, because I do get to join the meetings, right? I'm always pushing for that, guys. Always, and I can tell you I'm not the only one. Tons and tons of employees push for that, right? Because we all want you guys to have that fair advantage to try to get to success. He's saying he's having some issues with the buying power. I'd ask first, of course, if this is more on an eval or a funded or a competition account, because there's so many different accounts, right? But I would say that if you are seeing you're having issues, one of the most important things I think that traders don't do in the morning is just check your systems, right? So an easy way could be is to try to put in a certain amount of buying power in the morning on a limit way away from a stock, right? Where you're not going to get wiped out or anything or even get into the stock, but just to see if the order can show up there. That will immediately tell you if your buying power is there or not. Then if you notice it's not there, you have more than enough time to react and go to the customer service team and get it back, right? I think that's the most important thing to do. So if there's anything, maybe starting to do that on a daily. I know that's something that's another thing to look at, but just make sure that your systems are working well. I sometimes just put in limit orders in the morning. Okay, could I get that size? Could I get that size if I wanted it here? And that's another way of looking at that, right? Because sometimes you don't know. And the number one thing you don't want to do is when you actually go to buy the stock, you hit it and it says, no, access denied, access denied. Because then you get frustrated. And I understand that frustration. Like always, guys, we call it how it is, right? And I understand the frustration there. But let's try to do some like kind of tools and checklists to help ourselves so that we're ready, right? Check your internet, check your setups, all your alerts set. Do you have the way you want to trade today? It's so important, guys. I see this happen all the time, even with myself. And you guys know I do like news and I have to like, I do the playbook and I put out like social things and things like that. And so part of that is I have to have that kind of checklist to make sure that I'm hitting the right spots so that I'm on top of things. Same thing is for you guys out there. Take on Chewy. I'll tell you one thing. I kept getting run over with Chewy when Roaring Kitty, the kitty out there. The Q's coming down,
Mitch,
man.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
I was
I can hear
losing
you.
connection there with you. Okay,
You're
great.
good. You're good. I didn't lose you at least. The Q's
Right
are
on,
coming
no, we're
down. We're losing a little bit of the altitude on the Q's at least. Got a little spike there in the VXX there, guys. I'm at 500 shares, could add right here. What I'm looking for is a little bit strength more. I'm looking for like the 43.11s. Then I can take it and start to really take a big swing on this. So let's see if we can do this. Where I'm at right now is another place to just hold on now. Let's see if we can really start making some money today. That's what I'm looking for in the Qs, for the Qs to come down here. Let's see if that actually starts to break. And look where the SPY is, right on that hourly low. Just undercut that for a second there on the hourly. So let's see what happens here. If it can hold on, you saw it go in the risk spot a little bit. Now, will it break the 602? Big level to watch on the SPY.
Really quick, Chewy, by the way, I think Chewy looks great. Chewy for me is very bullish in this hourly flag here. I love to see, I mean, what a move, right? So let's pull it back. Let's pull it back. Old crayons, but they're kind of working, right? So what do we really have here? We have this stage one. A stage one base is this top here and this bottom, this kind of rectangle. So we have the break, massive squeeze out. And what did it do? It tried to clear this high, this order block. It could not. So then it dumped back down right to base. We consolidated, swept low, whatever, chopping up, riding this moving average. So this is like, it's in go mode, and it really wants it up here at 39.70. Let's call it 40, because why the heck not? I'm seeing imbalances up here that it would love to fill if it can squeeze. There's honestly a lot of incentive to take it up here at some point. And I mean, it's kind of doing the thing, right? We have nice volume popping here on that squeeze, and then we have the consolidation of volume coming down. Now what do we see right here? Another consolidation and a big pop out of it. And now we're seeing another move up. It broke this this horizontal pivot, and now it back tested it today. For me, at this point, I would be looking into the hourly here and seeing this rising hourly just acting perfect here. So I mean, it probably won't get another scoop down. You saw it tried to break the lows and it couldn't. I think this thing's going. I mean, you know, it's an earnings play, so it's always risky, especially on something that's, I mean, let's be real, a little bit memey. I think it's a good chart though, and there's a lot of these charts that are popping. The whole ARK-K basket, the whole anything memey can really juice. Taking a peek at GME. Yeah, I don't know. I like Chewy.
Q's bouncing off the same level essentially of before. So watch that action to see if it goes back through that 515. That's what I'm watching. VWAP right above it here. SPY holding well. It just hit it again. So double bottom off that 602.50. That's going to be something to watch for. 2 wicks there also. Important to watch there. So the 602.30, 602.40s, if it goes back through that area, it's going to be a red type of action there. We'll see what happens now. Definitely getting some pullback action in the VIX. Did get to the 43s, so I think you're in that battle right in between right now where the bulls and the bears are getting chopped up. Let's see if we actually get the move.
I'm a broken record here, Mitch, but I'm bullish. I don't know. Even if it doesn't happen today, like I'm
me
looking,
too. Overall,
yeah.
for the holidays, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
And for the week, even, I would be bullish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's another thing. Like we talk about a candle forming, you know, like a 5-minute candle comes down for 2 minutes and then wicks up, and then you're like, oh, it's got 2 minutes left and it can break above, and then it's a bullish engulfing, right, with a bottom wick. On a weekly chart, if you get that low on a Tuesday, you're kind of cooking. If it starts turning around, you know, I love getting in swing trades on a low on Tuesday. That's one of my kind of bread and butter templates.
There you go.
So ENVX, if I wasn't already in, I would have added more here. I really should have. I just wasn't paying enough attention. But this is like one of my swing trades that I started with small size. It can fluctuate, you know, between that 9 and that 10, and I'm kind of okay with that. I'll just keep scooping it as long as it holds. And then I think that there's tons of risk or tons of reward to the risk that's inherent in these wider moving trades.
All right, guys, if you're looking for trades, you got a lot of those strong stocks earlier that were strong started to have pulled back there. So you do have a lot of stocks that were strong on the VWAP right now. AVGO, Workday pulled back, Zscaler. Zscaler went from 202 back to 199. We'll see if it gets back above the 200 here. But definitely back and forth action right now. I think I got to give myself some room here on the VIX because it's just chomping, and the Qs are actually on the downside right there.
Yeah.
So I think you're seeing that little chomp action there. And my biggest thing is the China mentions, right? At some point, it's going to spook a little bit of the market, and it's not going to be a long spook. I could see it maybe being like just a momentary pause in the action to the upside, but still seeing a lot of sectors in the red. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get everything back if there's everything red, right? And so that's the hardest thing that I'm seeing. So I got to see certain areas start to come back. Utilities, the technology is just leading on the downside now, just barely green, 0.03. So from the open, right? So we're seeing the bleed.
Yeah.
Fighting to hold. And the opening prices are so important. A lot of traders focus on highs and lows, supports, resistance. But I learned this from a trader with 30 plus years of experience. He said, stop focusing on highs and low. keep it simple sometimes to just the opening price. Is it above or below that price? And if it
Totally.
comes back to that price, that's also an opportunity, because a lot of times you'll get a stock to rip up. It comes back to the opening price. It holds there and it goes right back up to the resistance. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
if it didn't take out the opening price, why are you so scared? Right. And so things like that, I had a trader literally call me out on that. He told me it just like that. He was like, why are you so scared?
Yeah,
The
I
opening
mean,
price is holding, man.
yeah, we're here to make risk, and it's not it's doing the right things. You know, we always gotta. I think it's so easy to like laser focus and be like, this candle shouldn't do this. I had a plan, and this is not the plan. And you know, you got to give
I'm
it some
scared. I'm
latitude.
scared.
I'm not personally attacking you, brother. Don't worry. Just this is to myself more than anything. But you know, it's you gotta let it breathe,
Yeah.
right? It's all
Yeah.
breathing. It's buying and selling and motion both directions. Like you know, you
Mhm.
gotta. It's a living thing. It's a
Yeah.
composition of all of us crazy living things trading it. You know.
Let's take a peek
So
at how the traders are doing in the competition. I think I just saw somebody, and holy moly, he is up there. Look at that. Guys,
uh,
$94,000.
let's go. That's a
Holy
day.
cannolis, man. What did this guy do?
And how can I copy his trades?
All
Get
right.
me
So,
in.
oh, that's it. That's it. That's not a bad one right there. That will do it to you. Man, selling. This was the guy that was short SNTI. He
Oh,
went
banger.
and shorted ZJK there at 22 with 9,000 shares after he had like a 20 something $1,000 cushion, which I talk about all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
He used that
Yeah,
20
yeah.
something $1,000 cushion to really go after ZJK. And what did he do? He just made another $40,000-$50,000 on top of that. That's
Boom.
how you do it, guys. Look at the
Beautiful.
action. $94,000 in one day with this account. So the way that we think about this is, and let's just be honest, right? I think we're all going to think about this is, what's that payout?
Oh yeah.
Steve, what is that payout looking like? Oh
You know
my
where my
Lord.
head's at. You
Just
know where my head's at.
synthetically, right? We're just talking, right? We're talking $94,000, right? In one day. Just putting it into that perspective. Let's say he had the 70-30 split, right? So he just made a little cool $65,800 payout in a day, you know? Just
No big deal. What did you do today, right? Not that.
You know, a lot of times we say we don't go and trade for Lamborghinis, but I mean, maybe this guy is. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We're just in the wrong tax bracket. This guy's trading for Lambos.
And what I love is, dude, just take a look at this. He also opened up other positions. It's not just those positions, right? So, like, there was a time here when he went for Mara. He sold Mara and made 942. He tried to make more, but when the stock came back on him, what did he do? He got out.
You know, honestly, that's the thing I'm most impressed about out of everything you just said, because I was watching Mara too, and that was tricky. Like,
Look
so
at that.
you're showing me that this guy. I mean, I'm assuming the cushion was from SNTI long too, right?
Yeah,
So this
he
guy's a
already had
technician.
48K in the bank.
This guy's a
So
sniper. He saw the long, he saw the short. He's keeping pot. You know,
he made
multiple
48 on
pots going.
SNTI short first. Then he made another 900 on Mara. Then he made another short on SNTI and made another 23. And then he made 29 on ZJK. So
Let him cook, man. Let him cook. You got my
that man
respect.
came in with his shorts on, literally.
Yeah, his lucky shorts for sure.
Or who knows? Maybe it's a lady. Ooh, I
Yeah,
want to find out. I want
I
to find out.
apologize. I apologize. I've met one of the best traders I know, Winky.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
Winky. You are a killer.
Look at these.
She trades from her phone while working. She is a psychopath. I
Look at
respect the heck
this.
out of
Look at
that.
this, guys. This is some patterns out there. Look at this. Short CHR, not bad at all. Let me go ahead and put this yellow here so you can see the position. Look at that. Short on the pop of CHR, 31,000 shares. Stepping up to the plate here. PSQH short 2,000. And the best position, CTNT short at 778 Remember we were talking about that $8, how it was struggling there, struggling. Well,
Yeah.
somebody saw it, shorted it pretty well there, 11,000 shares. It's down to $6, 18,000 in the green there. So
Man,
somebody's killing
Mitch,
it, man, killing it.
CTNT's chart is why I get so sussy trading these, because man, it looked like it was double bottoming. It had the higher low, it was getting the ramp curl up off the 200-minute average, and then it just said, now
This
we're
is my
done.
thing with
750
CT.
enough.
So CTNT, the penny stocks, a lot of the times they're going to do wave theory overall.
Okay.
So this is just a classic wave theory one. So
Are we talking like Elliott stuff or?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
And Dow theory, that kind of mentality,
Okay.
right? So a lot of times stocks have a tendency of doing 3 waves, and on the 4th wave it fails, right? So 3 strengths and 3 strong moves, look for that 4th to fail a lot of the times. So if we look in the pre-market, there was this first move at 4 a.m. This is like this flag action, right? And I
Yeah.
can make this big, right? So we can kind of just break it down here. Trying to keep an eye on the VIX here. Q's coming back to that 515, big important level. SPY double bottoming again there. We're starting to work back towards the strength here. I will say that.
Yeah, VIX lost the low, or VXX lost the low there. The recent swing low, it's still holding the structure, but
so this little flag here. So you see that flag on the first action. That's going to be your A move. A lot of people will miss this move because they don't just blow it up and they don't see that. That's your first move. Then you get your kind of push up, right? You get another move, right? Your second move. Then you get the third kind of break up here. And then now when you go for that 4th move is when you're getting a lot of the fails. So a lot of times what I'm looking for is trying to play these rides. A lot of times 6:30 a.m. right here. This is when I start looking at things right here. And this is my sweet spot. From 6 to about 7, there's a nice little sweet spot where I can catch the second move a lot of the times. So this tells me to look at this. This tells me to trade this, right?
Totally.
That's the way I think about it. That's the way I think about it in the penny stocks. And then so I'm just trying to catch it early in this little kind of flagging pattern, know the risk on the support there, take a starter, look for the breakout, add, and then just try to ride that up and sell into the move, right? So a lot of times I'm selling into the pre-market, but a lot of times, what is that going to do? That's going to get you into the 3rd wave. And once I'm in the 3rd wave, yeah, I can get a little bit more, but I think I'm pushing it. I'm starting to push my luck up here.
One of my favorite quotes is, I made my fortune selling early. You know, like you catch the 80%. If you're even trying to catch the last 20, you're going to get skinned, you know, more often than not, is what I've found at least.
Yeah, and what I think is that when you get to that point where you think about it, just put protection on, right?
Yeah,
protect some gains, right? If you're thinking about it, protect gains. That's the way I think about it. And a lot of times, if I'm saying I'm thinking about it, that's because there's a slight part on my shoulder that's like, hey, he's greedy.
Mitch, it's party time. Not to interrupt, but that was a nice burst there.
Yeah, it's party time. It's party time. I took the hit there on the VXX on the downside, but now we're starting to see the strength come back into the market. And where's the strength coming back in? Yes, the Qs are going back to the highs. The Qs never lost really the strength. It's the SPY that I saw the real strength come in there. And what do we see here? Nice bottoming all around that 602.50, that hourly low where institutionals love to trade. Well, now you start to see what's going into the green. So cyclicals reversed, nasty. That's your XRT trade coming right back, right? So they stuffed it right back down. Now Lulu into the green, coming right back up. That was a strong stock. Look for those types of stocks that remain strong there. So I'd be watching to see what's going on in retail. Specialty retail starting to bounce back. So that means your wolf trade starting to go higher. I know that someone mentioned Chewy. That could help Chewy's trade continue. And Chewy's on that 34 starting to break. GME back into the green today. So we're seeing that. Will we get the AMC $5 lift eventually? Maybe someday. But GME above that 27 there. So seeing some retail names starting to push, starting to get the push there. Etsy going up there on a pretty nice lift there today. Wayfair starting to push there. So you're still seeing some of that kind of retail trade come right back. Basic materials coming back. So you can start taking a look to see what happens there. I'm seeing silver up massive today. Massive move there for silver. So AG can be something to scalp, right? It's a small name, really tight spread. just kind of mentioning something along the way. Mag is another way to trade, some silver trade, but definitely seeing that action there. Aluminum up, Alcoa, one to look at to see if it starts to recover here. It is on the downside, but just broke above the 46.
So do you think this is geopolitical? All of these commodities with the China
Yeah,
news? Seems like it's
yeah,
got to be connected.
it has to be. And the basic materials overall is starting to look like it's trying to continue to break. I think we need to watch really closely because it's pretty much in a tight range, trying to do a little bit of a breakout. This is an equally weighted basis look on basic materials. So I look at it equally weighted all the time. I feel like too many people look at weighted things, and I like to look at equally. So I'm looking at this and I'm showing there that, yeah, we're trying to make the move. Can we actually break out above there at the weekly? That 2,900 right there on the index, at least that I have, is showing me that we're trying to get that move, but we really need to see some strength in some other ones. What could we look for to see that? I think we need to look at like steel and things like that to see if that could come back. Of course, that's taking a hit today with the mention on US steel. And you guys can see it's actually getting hit hard, but this could actually start working its way back at some point. I think at some point this trade's going to reverse, and you watch to see this trade actually go up. So right now it is on the decline. It traps some traders. I'm not even thinking about it today. I'm just thinking about it overall. At some point, this steel trade is going to be one to take a look at.
If you're looking to play leaders, NUE and STLD, especially STLD, are almost always the kind of forerunners in that area. CLF is such it's one of my favorite stocks from like a just like nostalgia perspective. I actually got started trading steel, back on that crazy 2021 rip, but it's just it's just not acting right. Oh, that's nice.
You guys feel like we're going to get this breakout and we're just going until the top end and going to continue to push today? Zscaler is one to kind of keep an eye out here because it has made a nice little pullback to the VWAP. Just keeping an eye on that 199. It could recover 200 right back up to the 202.
We're getting a real nice push on ENVX off of that undercut of $10 after they smashed earnings, went up 20%, retraced 50% close there. They just undercut the 10, and now they're just, what is it, up 5% off that? 7%. So we're cooking. We're cooking. I got some on.
It's gonna give it to you.
Come on,
give it to you.
What
Oh
a great
man,
ticker name, right?
I used to love trading it just because I could sing that song.
Right?
X trying to give it to me. Trying to give it to me. If I was that CEO, I would come on every single earnings call with that in the background.
Totally. Man.
Oh man, I would have hired Exhibit already. Bring X back, man. Make X better.
Yeah, Elon really fumbled the bag, not collabing there. Come on now.
Oh man, he should have jumped on that, right?
Oh yeah. So Costco's getting real tight. These Bollinger Bands are squeezing. I like that. Let me take a look at the index,
man,
though.
strong action there. Workday leading the action there in the Qs today. AVGO now taking the upside. That's a good look there to look for MU, AMAT, those types of names to start coming back. If that can merely make a break to the upside, this MU off of the 101 looks interesting for me, just based on the 15-minute hourly kind of chart. Not a bad looking chart. We'll see what happens on these.
Shout out Lil Buddy. He was talking about Workday weeklies yesterday. Great call, dude. Nice move, dude.
Yeah, Workday doing pretty well there. So.
Oh, it's only 2%. Look bigger. Still nice.
Hey, it's still nice. Oh yeah,
and it looks like it's got a nice little flag form in here too.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
I like the amount of course, because this one's kind of when it goes. It's classic, just gap trade. Gap trade back. Gap trade on a stock that has good fundamentals, right? So when the fundamentals weigh in, they usually play out for one day. They come down a little bit. They start to consolidate. They say, hey, you didn't take out the lows on the earnings day. All right, so traders are still into Workday. Let's start seeing this start to come back. Yeah. Classic trade that you see a lot in Workday. So. All right, Q's going for that high here. Now we'll look to see if it breaks through the 516s. That's the big look there. And I'd look to see if SMCI could just make a comeback there. That's another one that could go down to 40 and then right back up, right? So who knows where that one ends up. But the Q's trying to push back there. Apple up there to 241. That's one to watch there. NVIDIA trying to recover VWAP. That was strong earlier. I don't know if it's going to stay strong, but it was. CTNT now down to 530. So that was a good opportunity on the short side today, right? And the crazy part, I mean, I know you guys might think this is hindsight 2020, but I was like, man, I should short this bad boy into the nines. This thing went to 906. It's one of those
the would-be
hindsight
snipe.
2020,
Yeah.
right? So it was
You
like,
got the pat on the
man,
back though.
no, it was one of those where I missed the move at like the 7 a.m. I was like looking at news and reading news, and I looked back and this thing was up like 680s. I was like, well, I'm not buying it now at the high.
Yeah.
But then I saw it go up, and I was like, we'll measure the flag here and see how much it could go. And all I did was just a measuring of the flag to try to think, okay, so $4 from the breakout. $4, the flag was 434. So from 5, this is when it started to break out. I just thought about it. And I was like $9, right? So that's using technicals to try to come up with an area to get short. Just the flag pattern, the extension above turns around there.
Totally.
It's one to think about for a competition and things like that. It's a hard trade. I'll tell you that much.
You know, CTNT, in the same way you were talking about the 3-wave pattern, also just, I mean, market loves threes, the universe loves threes. So I think you saw a nice head and shoulders triple push up there in a cash session before it started to roll.
Yeah, they don't like the fours.
They don't like the fours. That being said, I'm a major proponent of 3 is the rule, 4 is a gift. If you get a chance to buy something that's about to 4-knock a major level, almost always the 4-knock will follow through. That's a huge part of my trading strategy, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out Exotic Seal. My brother.
That might run into my rule of 3, dude.
It's like 3 is what the market likes. 3 is very tighty, but sometimes that third just gets booped down a little bit, and then it's like really cooking it, you know?
Mm-hmm. So like let's call it on this MP here. So the way that I look at this a lot of the times is I look at charts like this, right? And I see, okay, so you got this one drive, right? This drive went to where? Essentially to here, right? I could call it this candle, but it's not really that candle. It's a drive. Like a lot of times I say that's why I kind of like line graphs, because the real truth is they give you what it's really doing. It's doing this, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so don't stress too much about what's here. I'm drawing it straight to there. Right. And so drawing it like that is the way to draw it, man. And then you start to really kind of understand where the resistance and the support is really kind of building out. Right. And so a lot of times, what am I looking for? I'm looking for pushes up, pullbacks, pushes up, pullbacks, kind of building up that breakout momentum. Right. The further the attempts down to the support to start to build that up. And then now you can get that attempt here, and you can get kind of a half wash back down. So a lot of times, what are we looking to understand? Just where support and resistance is, because that's how you can build a position here, right? So you're trying to build off of the buys off this bottom box and trying to look for the breakout eventually towards this 24. But the truth is that you can still look to see those reversals. What this helps me do is when I'm looking for that kind of 1 up, 1 down, kind of just balancing through it. So 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up. And then a lot of times I'd look for a little pullback after this break. And the big reason is on that is that a lot of times you're going to catch some buyers there. And then it's just going to do a throwback look and then take off. So that's kind of where your 4 comes into play. Let's say if it was this and it hit there, then it came back to here, then it came to here and struggled here. This is that 4th attempt to get through. That's when I start to think about that there's could be a potential fail after that. If it fails to break out there, I'm looking for this support to break the next time.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's kind of my rule of 3 playing into yours, like the 4th, right? So that 4th, and that's why you're looking for it to go, Steve, because the truth is, you know that complete momentum's behind it now.
Right.
Now it's just more, can it take that drive?
Another thing that I think this is a great illustration of is volatility contraction patterns. So basically, when you're drawing this pennant, like what is a pennant? It's contracting the volatility between the highs and the lows. So you got the high, the low, then you got the lower high, then the higher low. And what is it doing? You're seeing volume consolidate as the price consolidates. So it's cooking basically, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing I'll always look for. You can actually set up scanners for volatility contraction patterns. You just want basically to screen for stocks over key moving averages and that are making consecutive narrowing patterns basically. So those are where you get the crazy moves. And this is a stock wizards like Mark Minervini type strat, kind of that kind of thing, but great for swing trading.
Yeah, great for swing trading. And a lot of times I look at these on the daily charts, especially. The daily charts will
Wow.
give you these all the time, guys.
Look at
1,
that.
2, 3, pulls back, holds that third pullback, starts to push, right?
Yeah.
You get this all the time in a lot of different names. I mean, let's go to the Qs and take an approach today to see how that would look, right? So you're seeing right now, what are you seeing in the pre-market? Or let's go to the 15 and kind of pull this out a little bit. Let me pull this down here. Watch this. We'll break it down with yesterday's action pretty much. So that's what you really want to kind of look here. Ooh, Steve, we are just having too much fun. I just looked at the time.
I just looked at the time too.
Holy moly,
cooking.
we got to get out of here, guys. I'm out of here, guys. I got to get going. Guys, have a great one. Stay in the competition. Keep battling out there. We had too much fun. Steve, have a great day. Take care, my friend. Everybody out there, get in the competition. Top place, I think, is still $90,000 right now. So 95. He's making more money. Watch out there, guys. We'll see you guys back tomorrow. Smash the like. Be back, like always, right here. Trade the Pool.